It is apparent now that we have plunged ourselves into a world of meaninglessness. Men are waking up in this mechanical treadmill routine. You go to work, you get things done, maybe you have some groceries to get, or maybe you get stuck in traffic, and then you head home, wind down with a beer and TV before you go to bed, repeat the same thing, and always feeling like you are not living. What is happening to cause this? And then how can we curve it? And how can we finally bring men into the world that are driven and inspired by divine calling? Well, the first thing is distractions. We are absolutely filled with distractions. We have phones, we have movies, internet, dating apps, politics, you name it. There is no shortage of ways that your psychic energy gets absolutely split all over the place. And because as humans, we like to optimize things and we're in a profit-centered economy, so everything is about just how do we get people to keep paying us? And if we can continue to expand the quality of the service, let's do that. And so every form of these distractions have gone better. Now, you can claim some things haven't. For me, I find movies have just deteriorated, but you get my point that things have become a lot more optimized. Video games are getting more graphically accurate to real life. VR is making you feel like you're jumping into a fantasy realm, and it makes that world better than the outer world. And to have all these things is extracting energy. It is spreading your power thin. You only have a certain amount to aim with. And the more you spread it, you are left with absolutely nothing to point at the things that really matter. It puts you in a state of apathy. Things are okay. It puts you in the good enough mentality. It's comfortable. Yeah, I feel unsettled and some things kind of suck, but hey, I got all these activities and things that I can do to just numb and get me to forget about my problems. All of this separating you from the deeper power within. We have lost our faith. We have lost our study of religion, of the divine, of a transcendent experience. We have, for the most part, casted it out as mumbo jumbo nonsense and tried to be a lot more on the head heavy state, which is logic, reason, anything we can really measure and see. And if we can't measure and see it, then what's the point? And so as we've adopted a more secular worldview, we have eliminated the biggest thing, which is the why. We have killed the why as to what it is we're doing everything for. Now, when I say this, I'm not prescribing that you become a religious zealot. Perhaps you don't feel the connection to any of the popular religions right now. But I'm even just talking from a personal experience, and because all religions really fundamentally are trying to connect you with God, with this life force, this entity, universe, whatever label you want to give it. The act of it is to reconnect, but it's through the connection is done through yourself first. God is connected from the inside, then it reveals from the outside, not the other way around. Men need this. We need something important to fight for. When you feel you have been given a calling, something that is going to change something, and not just in your life, but other people, which puts you in a state of ultimate service. Men are dying for something like that, where you're not just some random person standing in the corner, that you actually have impact, that you are essential to this movement, to this company. It doesn't matter. You just want to feel you have something, some stake in it. It has to be of self-sacrifice, which is what the transcendent and the divine experience provides you, which in turn provides the magic to life. And when I say magic, I'm not talking Harry Potter, Hogwarts style, but it's the magic that if you think when you were a child, when you were a little kid, you were looking out into the world and you look at the leaves and the animals and you felt that this was not just a aimless, purposeless environment. And the more we suppress that part of us, you are in turn dulling the color in life. Why build anything? Why do anything? At the end of it, when you remove this part or suppress it, I don't believe you can remove it, but you can absolutely suppress the hell out of it. eventually you resort to just pursuits of money. That's as a motivation, a pursuit of women, status, pleasure, physical strength. All things that eventually, at some point, if you stick to them long enough, you're going to realize that they mean nothing. And that has always been the struggle in my personal life. I'm a soul-led individual. When I move in any direction, it needs to feel like I'm being called towards it. And if it's not, it doesn't get me to engage. Money's not a motivator. Status is not a motivator. They're important. And of course, I have a shadow that craves those things, but it's not my go-to. I can't get myself to do an activity, even if it makes me a lot of money, if I'm not connected to it. If you want to bring mission, purpose, energy, color back into your life, enter the sovereign path. First, limit your distractions, at least by 30 to 50%. Doesn't have to be cold turkey. But what this is going to do is lock you into a state of deep solitude. You need to be okay with your own company without darting your attention away, pointing that psychic energy towards yourself to see what is going on. Where are you unmet? What parts of your past have you not contended with? Give yourself permission to be in that place. Entertain the divine. I don't mean through just scripture. Now, you can pick any of the big religions right now, but it doesn't have to be that way. All I'm asking is that you deepen your connection with your soul. And that could be through many activities. It could be through art, through nature, going for a walk. It could be through reading scripture. What activity has you rekindle, spark that feeling within you that, in a sense, says that there is something bigger than just you? You are connected to something outside of you. It won't just come to you right away. You have to be patient, consistent, put in the time, and it will hum back. Where are you off balance in your heart, your mind, or your soul? I talk about in another video, the Trinity of Masculine, in order for you to be an absolute laser beam and cut through metal. And by that, I mean picking a mission that you feel called to and actually moving towards it. Your mind is the logic, the strategy. Your heart is the compassion and the connection to humanity. And then your soul is your calling, the transcendent experience. Where are you lopsided? Where are you suppressed? Are you too head heavy and you have to bring in your heart? Or are you too soul heavy and just floating around in potential, never actually taking a stance on anything? And the last, but certainly not the easiest, in fact, the most difficult, is engaging with your deepest pain. And I'm going to describe it through an analogy. This was an analogy that my own jiu-jitsu professor told me years ago. And it was about practice and getting good at jiu-jitsu, but this really rang true across the board, even in what I'm talking about today. If you wanted to create a building, to plan it out, and to actually start putting all the pieces together, what do most typically do? Everyone always thinks height. How tall I can make this building. I want to have all this money and all these things, and they try to stack it from the ground level. So this is the ground level. They try to just keep stacking the tower over and over and over and over and over again. But what happens to a tower without any foundation? At some point, when the wind comes blowing, the structure starts to shake. As you continue on with your life, maintaining the distraction, suppressing that soul calling, and just further trying to expand through the means of material possession, through social status, which again, there's importance to them. But when that is your God, when life inevitably comes to test you and it hits, you do not have the structure to handle it. Now contrast that with someone who digs a foundation first. And the foundation is dug by entering into your most deepest pain. In that space, as you dig the foundation, you get to know yourself in a different way. You integrate different parts of you, different aspects of your shadow. The one who builds the foundation first can stack the tower as high as they really would like to go. And when life inevitably comes at you and tries to smack you, you will be solid. That doesn't mean you won't be kicked down. But what that means is your absolute center will not shake. You will not be pushed out of your frame. You will not become overly emotional, overly defensive, quick to just ditch a path and say, oh, it's not for me, it's not working out, and enter a state of victim. Write this last thing down. Your greatest purpose is only found inside your deepest pain. Our calling is not up in the skies, fantasizing about riches and our superiority and our power. But it is found where we are most vulnerable, where we are most hurt, where we feel we've been maybe neglected, rejected, abandoned, and entering that state, not to ruminate, but to integrate it. So we have less psychic energy being distracted. We now have more faculty. We now have more power to point and aim it to something. And the best part, you do not have to do this alone. You can first subscribe to the channel and be a part of this community of sovereigns. Or if you want to go even deeper than that, click the link down below to my waitlist. I'm going to be opening a community soon into the future where we're going to be gathering together as like-minded men on this exact same path. You'll get notified on the details of the community, what it entails, the launch date, and some special perks for being one of the early founders of it. Thanks a lot, and I will see you on the next one.